Welcome to Upstalvers. In this video, we will build a CSS gradient generator tool like this. So we have got a start color and we have got an end color and we have got gradient angle. And this is being applied right now for this page, for background, for body background as well. And it is also reflecting here. Then we can copy this CSS if we like it. And we can also generate random gradient background. So we're going to create this utility, CSS gradient generator tool. And it's pretty easy to build and can be a nice addition to your portfolio. It uses a little bit of CSS and JavaScript. Okay, let's build it. This is my HTML. It's got a heading, input with type color, start color is the ID, and it's got some initial value as well. Then we have got input type color, ID and color, start color and color with initial values. And then we have got input with type range, ID is gradient angle. It's got min, max, and a default value. Then we have got span with ID angle display and some angle inside it. Then we've got button with the ID random button with the text random gradient. Then a text area with ID CSS output, that is read only. CSS code will be copied from this, and then the button that will copy this CSS code from this text area. This button has got ID copy button with the text copy CSS. Let's save it, and we've got this start color, end color, and gradient angle in degrees, random gradient, and then text area with the button copy CSS. Let's give these elements some styles. So we've got in the root level of CSS, we've got start color, initial colors or default colors, and then variable for the end color, variable for the gradient angle, and these are the values. I declared variables for start color, end color, and angle in the root of CSS. Then we have got body styles. These are the regular styles for aesthetics, and this is important part. This is body background with linear gradient that has these three variables: gradient angle with start color and end color. These values are being used here. That is why these have been applied at the background of the body. These are not dynamic yet. We want to make it dynamic. Then we have container to make content nice and centered. Few more styles for input color, input type range, text area, button, and text area for button, for angle display. And now the app looks like this. Important styles are these. So now we want this app to be dynamic. Let's apply the functionality. That will be in the JavaScript inside script tags. So here we have got all the elements or fields because we will be accessing and manipulating values from these elements. So start color input, these are the variables, and we have got these fields by using their IDs. Document.getElement by ID, start color, end color, gradient angle, random button, copy button, CSS output for this text area, and then angle display, this angle display. We have got all these. We are generating a gradient. So first, let's create a function to generate a gradient. So here is the function call generate gradient. And above that function call, this is our function. In this function, we are getting values from three main inputs: start color, end color, and angle. Start color will be start color input dot value, end color input dot value. Values for these inputs 1, 2, 3. We are getting values for these inputs here and storing it in these variables: start color, end color, angle. Here, this is another variable And for its value, we have prepared a linear gradient function with angle, start color, and end color. This is CSS syntax that we are preparing here. Then we are applying that on body to change body background color. And then we are updating CSS code in the text area. Now this main function will be triggered when first this app runs, and it will run many more times on demand later. We will need this function down the line again and again. This function is important. So I have changed these values. Now if I go to inspect and go to console and run this function generate gradient, it will change the gradient according to these values. So the body background changed and this text area value changed. That came from here. In fact, here background and then gradient CSS this. Okay, now this is generate gradient function. Now what happens when we change the color and angle values? Changes should be reflected accordingly. For that, we'll auto update gradient on input change. Start color input dot add event listener. This is the start color input, that is the document dot get element by ID start color. This we're adding an event listener on its change, and then we are simply firing or triggering this function again. Let's see. See, as this input changes, this function gets triggered and changes are reflected live in the background. Similarly, for this input, this is end color input dot add event listener input. Trigger this function again. As you can see, changes are being reflected. And for this angle, gradient angle input, that is gradient angle input angle display dot text content. We are adding event listener on element with the ID gradient angle for range input. And then we are changing this text with the gradient angle value. And then we are triggering this generate gradient function again. So when we change this slider, this value changes. And it's being reflected here as well, and in the body as well. Right? So we have added event listeners to the inputs. As the inputs change, we are triggering generate gradient function again. That will get the latest values and apply updated gradient to the body element as background. Okay, now let's generate a random gradient that will be generated when we click the random gradient button. First, we need a mechanism or function to generate a random color for this. So this is our function to create a random color that will return output from this math.floor math.random function, this strange number, then dot toString 16 and pad start 60. So math.random multiplied by this number generates a random number between 0 to this limit. This is the highest value for a 24-bit color hexadecimal. This converts the random number to a hexadecimal string. And then this function ensures the hexadecimal string is always 6 characters long by adding leading zeros if necessary. For example, instead of this, it will add zeros and make it like this. We added the hash symbol at the start to format the string as a valid hex color code. And math.floor method rounds a number down to the nearest integer, regardless of whether the decimal part is closer to the next higher integer or not. So from this function, we get a random color. Now let's create a function that will generate a random gradient. So this is the function, generate random gradient. That will basically change the value of start color input to the value that was generated by this function, random color function. Also, end color input value will be changed to this random number again. Start color input value, end color input value to random color. These are the variables, the IDs, the inputs, start color, end color. These are being changed here by the output from this random color function. And then for the gradient angle input value, we are using math.floor method, then math.random multiplied by 361. So this is generating random angle value and applying it to angle input. And here we are displaying angle value on the page as well. Angle display.text content will be this. Its updated value, that is random angle. And then we're triggering this function again, generate gradient. This function that will update all the values for the body background, for this and this. So now random button dot add event listener click. This is the random button with the ID random button. This we're adding event listener, click event listener, and then we are triggering this function, generate random gradient. Okay, random gradient. You see these values are being changed. Start color, end color, gradient angle, and background color is being changed. Also, this value is being changed. So here we are attaching this function to random button click event. When we will click that button, this function will run and do all this stuff. Okay, now we have to make CSS code copyable. This copyable. We have to make this button work. So this is the function copy to clipboard, CSS output dot select. It selects text area's contents and then copies it. Then alerts us that CSS code has been copied to clipboard. And here we have tied this copy function to the copy button click event. Let's copy this. Code copied. And here is copied code. So now everything is working perfectly. The app is ready. Okay, I hope it helped. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.